Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God. I didn't clap at the beginning. I guess it's a little awkward, not being on camera and not having the usual setup here. So a little off my game on the live stream, but not off my game on the charts. I hope everyone's had a really nice weekend. I see that the market is beginning to pick up. I would appreciate let me make sure I'm live streaming to begin with. This setup is not the best. Yes, I am live streaming. For all 5,000 of you that are viewing the live stream right now, if one of you would be kind enough just to drop in the comments if the audio is okay. Again, I'm probably going to do this every day I live stream just to make sure the audio is coming through okay. Juan, welcome in. Juan, is the audio sounding good, my friend? Good to see you. Bitcoin is pressing up towards the $70,000 region. We're going to take a look at specifically what's going on in the market, what's piquing my interest, and I'll give you, as always, my honest thoughts in terms of what I'm anticipating moving forward and why. Monday. Best day of the week, as my late best friend used to say when I would see him at 4:30 in the morning at the gym at 24-Hour Fitness. If you're inside a can, it sounds decent. Well, fantastic. This is as good as it's going to get on the sound quality. Guys, I will be back in my normal setup next week on Tuesday, actually on Election Day. I will be back in the United States Election Day. I'll be back in my normal setup. But hey, I hope everyone had a great weekend. There's a lot of exciting things going on in the market. We're entering November, or as I like to call it, Pumpvember. I think there's some other individuals out there that call it Pumpvember. Nothing has changed for me in terms of my expectations going into November being an extremely bullish month. Interestingly enough, if we kind of go back in time, and you were to examine not what I said would happen in the markets, because nobody knows what will happen, but what I said I would like to see and what was reasonable to expect for the month of October. What I said for this candlestick is I just want to maintain our relative bullishness in October, and I just want to land somewhere around this $68,000 area. Now, guys, we still have a few more days until close, okay? Today is the 28th. There are 31 days in October. Happy Halloween in a couple days. Halloween is on Thursday. So we still have 3 more days after today, and a lot can happen in the market. We could nuke down by 10%. We could always be thrown a curveball. But in generalities, so long as we maintain price area somewhere within this general region here, we're essentially landing right where I wanted us to be by the end of the month. The other thing that should do, and of course we'll take a look at the monthly close, what I might end up doing is, and it's important that you do click the bell icon for notifications. You guys know I did a live stream on Friday at an odd time. I don't think I'm going to be live streaming on Thursday, but I feel fairly confident that I will be live streaming on Friday. So we can take a look at the monthly close at that point. But the other thing to keep in mind is as we're starting to close out price here, again, the higher time frame views is really where the majority of all of us should really be focused in understanding the big picture, because we're invested, right? We're not day trading this market. Despite a lot of the clickbait you see out there, if you're attempting to day trade this market, you probably have around a 97% chance of failing at that. So the best thing you can do is assess reasonable areas to buy and sell from an investment standpoint. But so focusing in on this macro time frame and just the indicators here, we can see that the MACD looks good, but the RSI, depending where we close out on October, it would be monumentally bullish if we could push up past 70. We pushed up past 70 here, and you can see what happened with price. We pushed up past 70 way back here, and you can see what happened with price. When we pushed up past 70 back here in 2017, you can see what happened with price. So if we can manage to get the relative strength index above 70 in November, again, it's just another view, right? It's just another chart giving us conviction that we can expect some real big bullish momentum to pick up in this market. Guys, do you also see the stochastic RSI? It looks like it wants to cross back up here. If we can get above it, looks like I've signaled the 76 area. 70 is really the area, but once we start to get above the 70, 76 area, again, just another indicator telling us momentum's picking up in the market. You know, it's real interesting. If you're following me on X, you'll note that, well, I guess a couple things if you're active on Twitter or X. First off, there have been a decent amount of larger accounts who have been calling for these big pullbacks, right? And it's not to say that we can't do it, and we still can't do it. Bitcoin could have a 30% correction from current levels. There's no reason that that doesn't need to happen. But what I've been saying now for a long time, if you've been following the content, is I believe where we're at within the quote-unquote cycle is this point in time where the market enters a stage called disbelief, or as it's routinely referred to on X as disbelief. What's happening is, as the price is continuing to form the higher highs and higher lows, people are expecting a deeper pullback that does not come, and we get a more shallow pullback, and we just continue rising up in price, right? That is where I believe we're currently at. Again, it doesn't mean we can't top out somewhere here and roll over and consolidate for a bit before moving up. I just don't see that being the case. I've identified this orange area that I don't see breaking, right? So if we were to come down within the next few weeks, I don't see us, and I'm not talking about price wicks, by the way. You should know that by now. I'm talking about candle body closes. I don't see any candle body closes going outside of this region here between 63.8 and 61.8. We have to keep moving up these areas. Keep in mind, we're starting to see this rounding formation form on the chart, suggesting parabolic price action. We're seeing the higher lows. It's clearly displayed for you here. Look what's going on right now. You see the red circle here? Once we take this area out, it's game over for any bears in the market. Once we successfully clear $70,000, now not only have we cleared this lower high, apologies, wrong area. Not only have we cleared this lower high, now we've also cleared this lower high. So in actuality, what it's done is it's cleared up a lot of the muckiness in this chart and gotten us some bullish trend reversal direction upside, wiping out, several months of price data since July. So that would be monumentally bullish once we can start closing above $70,000. Who knows? Maybe on the live stream, as I'm live streaming, we'll push up towards past that $70,000 area. Now, the other thing of keen interest, and I really honestly haven't been that close to the charts today. The other thing of keen interest that I saw before coming on the live stream, and yeah, looking at price action here, we may be live as this thing starts to break $70,000. So we will see. Very, very close. A couple things I want to speak to here. So in this top 10, and I don't even know if this is the top 10 anymore. I made this list a while ago, so this probably needs to be reshuffled. And it'll be different 6 months from now. I guarantee you that. So, but in this top 10, what are you noticing in the top 10 list? Well, I'll tell you what I noticed. Doge and Shiba Inu are having some really nice days. And if you've been here in years past, as a refresher for everyone who's newer to the live stream, while I've never professed to be an expert in this market, I'll always be a student of the game. I'm always learning. I'm also a seasoned veteran, and I've been here for prior cycles where things have really begun to move. And one of the things that you see in prior times past is once Doge really starts to move here, okay, there's a certain proprietary indicator from a certain technical analyst that was on this channel many moons ago, and that has started to trigger. So that has me feeling very bullish. But this is a weekly chart of Doge. This is something that we've looked at many times. I've talked about the rounding bottom. Momentum is starting to pick up on this thing. We have the MACD crossing. We're up 10% today. Stochastic RSI looks great. RSI is at 61, so we still got a lot of room to the upside until we start getting to that overheated parabolic range typically where prices go parabolic of 70. So once we really start to clear, I should put, not to clear this chart up too much, but I should put another line right here. Once we really start to break out, it looks like above 23 cents. That's when it's going to get really interesting. So typically, if you haven't been here before, let me describe to you in generalities what we can expect moving forward over the next handful of months. Now, it's very important to understand, okay, for those of us who aren't very analytically minded, the basis of my thoughts that I'm sharing with you on my outlook of the market is based on historical price action. That is the only thing that we can base our objective views on, right? All we can use is past history to help inform us of what we think will likely play out in the charts in general terms, right? But we also need to understand, these are points that I commonly stress on this live stream, the market is very immature, it's very volatile, Bitcoin hasn't been around for a while, all these crypto assets have a very short lifespan. And Bitcoin just showed us that this year. It created a new all-time high prior to the halving, which has never happened before, right? So the market will continue to throw us curveballs, but it's anyone's guess. It's not. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's anyone's guess what curveballs the market will throw us. But what we can do, and where it makes sense to spend our time, if you really want to, if you have a busy life, and you can't spend all your time analyzing charts, and you're trying to really maximize your efforts in this market, what you need to do is study the past and walk away with some general big picture macro ideas that have played out in times past, and so you can expect them to play out in generalities moving forward. So based on all of that preface of what I just said, how am I looking at things moving forward? Well, if things move forward in relative fashion, in terms of how they've moved in times past, we can expect Bitcoin to start breaking up towards $74,000 soon. Once it starts to break $74,000 and create a new all-time high, which I think won't occur this month, I think it'll occur in November. Who knows? Maybe it'll occur tomorrow. But I think it'll occur by I think it'll occur in November. That's just my thought. But the more important thing to keep in mind is, and we'll see in generalities if this plays out, you're going to see price come up here, okay? And it's going to be shooting up somewhere. I've been talking about this for a long time now, okay? So we'll see how spot on I am. But I feel confident with the price targets I've come up with. I am expecting price. Don't pay attention to the time horizon here. I am expecting price to gravitate towards this area, the $85,000 to $92,000 range. This is where we're going to stall out. Okay, so price is eventually going to stall out in this range. Now, what should be happening within the market as we pull up Bitcoin dominance, this is a chart that I think everyone is tired of looking at, okay? We're all tired of looking at the dominance chart. We're like, when the fuck is this thing going to break down? I mean, dominance at this point is up towards 60%. So what will more than likely happen as the Bitcoin price is moving up towards 85 to 92, this dominance is going to make one last gasp towards the upside, just like it did here, and similarly like it did back here, okay? So it's going to make one last gasp towards the upside. Maybe we push towards 62. And a lot of your altcoins are not going to be moving. Doge may be moving pretty nicely. You might have some of the majors moving. But eventually what's going to happen is once Bitcoin teeters off in the $85,000 to $92,000 range, you're going to see that Ethereum is not dead. You're going to see Ethereum start to really run. BNB is going to run. Solana is going to have a hell of a run. XRP will not, listen to this, XRP will run. But it will not run on the same days as the others. It likes to be bipolar. It likes to be red or neutral on the days when these big boys are running. And when these big boys are pulling back, this guy likes to run, okay? Doge, your Shiba Inu, your TON, your 80, even ADA. All these majors are going to start to move, and what you're going to see is a rotation of money. You're going to see a rotation of money going from the large caps then into the mid caps and the low caps. Now, what'll be more interesting for me to observe within the market is what's going to happen with meme coins. Now, I've been sharing with you guys that in generalities, now I'm not as, I guess in some respects, I'm not as bullish as Murad is on the meme coin sector. I'm very bullish on it in the sense that I think that it's going to be the biggest narrative next year. But I don't know about some of the price targets he's talked about. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's anyone's guess. But in generalities, meme coins are going to be the strongest performer next year until proven otherwise. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think the thing that I have less confidence in knowing how it's going to play out is the general strength of meme coins as it relates to timing. So is Bitcoin? So are the meme coins just going to continue to express strength and have less sort of seasonal? Meaning, how do I word this? Are the relative market caps of meme coins going to run with the relative market caps of other projects? So if you have a $500 million meme coin project, is it going to run in generalities around the same time as other $500 million crypto market caps? Or are they going to have their own season? Essentially, are meme coins going to have their own alt season? That's the one thing I don't know. Either way, I have my meme coins. You know what they are. I've shared them with you. And I'm sitting tight and I'm sitting pretty. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Now, a couple charts I did want to go over with you guys, and then I'm going to jump to the comments. I see a few people throwing comments in here, which I really appreciate. When I know the setup here isn't the best, but the way you can't see me, but I'm looking at my laptop and I have my iPhone in front of me. And on my iPhone, I can see the comments coming in. So I do appreciate the engagement. When I'm over here blabbing for so long, I at least want to know there's some messaging getting through, and it's nice to see engagement. There's nothing worse than coming out here and talking to an empty room with no engagement. I've had plenty of those days. This market, I think there's a lot of PTSD from 2022. I think there's a lot of complacency based on some stagnant price action. There's a lot of short-term gratification in general with the investor in this market. Please see TikTok with short attention spans in general within seemingly the human race. We have a short lifespan, a short attention span. So I do appreciate the engagement on the and feel free to click the thumbs up, Juan. Appreciate you saying that. But I'll get to the comments in a moment. Feel free to drop a comment if you're new to the live stream. I'd love to know that. I love to hear when people are brand new, kind of checking things out and what they think of it. Always open to suggestions on how I can improve the experience. This is a 3-day chart. I've given you in generalities what I'm expecting. We've had our pullback here. Now, it's going to be interesting because what do we have right now? Very similar to Bitcoin, we have the beginnings of a bullish structure. So this is one where Credible Crypto and I definitely disagree, and that's okay. Disagreement is healthy and normal. The last I saw, he's expecting some huge pullback in width. I don't see that happening, but he's calling for $1 or sub $1 last I looked. But while that is possible, I don't see that happening unless Bitcoin has some huge pullback. All I see right now, you tell me, do you not see higher highs and higher lows? I mean, that's all I see. I see higher highs and higher lows here. So until this starts to break down, right? Until we start to break down towards this $1.60, as long as this roughly, we talked about this area for a while now. That's why I have it drawn out. As long as this roughly 220, 230 area holds, we're good to go. There isn't really anything concerning in the chart. We took a look at the RSI, all that stuff. I don't see anything super concerning in the chart. I just want to start clearing $3. Keep in mind, guys, these projects that you own, okay? these projects that you own, one of the things you have to consider, we spent some time last week, if you caught the live stream last Friday, one of the most important things that I communicated to you is, based on my experience, there are 3 major things you need to consider when taking an investment position in the market. You have to consider the fundamentals, you have to consider the technicals, and you need to consider the narrative. Okay? So those are the 3 main things. Okay, and I explained why. If you didn't catch the Friday live stream, check it out. But to that point on the narrative, what you do need to understand, and it's a fundamental / narrative reason, Solana is going to be an extremely strong performer. I don't care what your view of the project is. It's just the chart is saying it's going to be a strong performer. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of attention. It's got a strong community. It's going to do very well. Now, what does it mean if Solana is going to do well? Well, if Solana does well, that means that the projects that are built on Solana, a DEX like Orca, meme coins like WIF, those projects are going to perform very well, and they're going to be beta to Solana. Meaning, as Solana, if we think that Solana from current price levels, let's see where Solana's at right now. I think it's at like 180, just shy of 180. If we think, I'm going to pick a round figure, by the way, just to keep this stupid simple. If we think Solana is going to pull a 6x, okay, and get over $1,000. It pulls a 6x, and we're clearing $1,000, just over $1,000, okay, like $1,200, whatever, $1,100. If we think that Solana is going to pull a 6x, what that should theoretically mean is a lot of the smaller market caps that have less liquidity and more ability to be moved by funds, by money being invested in it, they should run harder. So your Orca should perform much better than a 6x. Your WIF, okay? And the nice thing about WIF is, in my opinion, you got 2 things going on here. You got the fact that WIF is the #1 meme coin on Solana. It's the Solana meme coin, if you will. On top of that, it's a meme coin. And meme coin, I've told you guys, my opinion, meme coins are going to be the biggest narrative next year. So you got the biggest narrative and the #1 meme coin on Solana's platform. This thing should do much higher than a 6x. Maybe it does a 10x. Maybe it does a 20x. Maybe it does a 30x. Yeah, and I'm talking about a 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 billion market cap. And as crazy as that sounds, again, if you think that it's crazy, I'm not saying it's not crazy, by the way. You're talking to a guy whose profession over here is conservative by nature and has been analytical all his life. Believe me, I've spent a lot of time outside of YouTube in my personal life talking about the fact of how ridiculous I think it is that meme coins are what they are. But I would be a fool. If I think that there's money to be made in investing in meme coins, I would be an idiot, in my opinion, not to invest. I must hate making money. But the point is, you might think that WIF going to a $20 to $60 billion market cap sounds outrageous and ridiculous, and you may want to click off the live stream saying this guy is like really full of it. All you have to do is study the past. If you actually study, if you study the growth of this market, okay, when you go back in time, let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you a visual so you can appreciate this. Guys, when we were back here, okay, and everything was around, this is 2020. This is right after the beer virus. The whole market, I really want you to think about this. This is quite astonishing, okay? In April, we closed April at a $240 billion market cap, just shy of it. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go to CoinMarketCap. And what we're going to see here is Ethereum. Guys, are you seeing this right now? Ethereum, which hasn't even taken off yet, it's still well below its all-time high. It has a $300 billion market cap. The market cap of Ethereum, the number one altcoin, is 20%, more than 20% higher than where the entire market closed out in the month of April of 2020. That tells you there must have been some pretty explosive growth within the past 4 years. Now, as we watch the market, what we see is the total crypto market pulled over a 10x. It pulled a 12x. A 12x. We went from 200 billion to 2.6 trillion. Do you not think that this market is not capable of getting up to 8 to 12 trillion? This market is completely capable of getting to 8 to 6 trillion. And if you think the market is completely capable of getting to 8 to 6 trillion, you really need to ask yourself two questions. One, just how large will the market caps be for a lot of these top projects here? Go back in time and take a look at some historical snapshots. You can come into CoinMarketCap. You can go to historical snapshots. We can go to, you can have fun with this. We can go to April of 2020 and you can see the market cap. Look how small these market caps are. Bitcoin was smaller than Ethereum. I mean, look how small. Caspa is a $2 billion, $3 billion market cap. If we were to go back in time, 4 years ago, this thing would be a top 6 market cap. Bitcoin SV was here, okay? The whole point is, if this is the market cap of these things now, or then, this is them now, and we haven't entered anything near euphoria yet. What in the hell are the market cap rankings going to be for some of these things? What is Doge going to hit? If you think Doge is going to top out at 100 billion, look, I got news for you. This thing is going well over $1. Now, so getting back to my original point, if you think that a $20 to $60 billion market cap for WIF, in fact, 20 would be a huge disappointment for me personally. I'm targeting something closer to 50. So if you really want to know what I'm realistically thinking, I'm thinking something closer to 50 billion. If it goes over 50, that's a fucking bonus for me. But and you layer on top of that the fact that meme coins are going to be the biggest narrative, in my opinion. Obviously, then it becomes pretty obvious to you that 20 to 60 billion dollars on WIF, pulling somewhere between a 9 to 25x from here is not unreasonable. It's not at all. Again, if you haven't been here for euphoria, then it might not make sense. But been here, done that, trying my best to explain it to you. This is another meme coin that I have a very, very, very small amount allocated to. Ticker symbol WEN. It's a cat meme on Solana. Again, the premise being that the Solana ecosystem is going to really take off once Solana starts moving. So my opinion is a lot of these small market caps, meme coins, 100 billion, sub 100 billion, 100 million, sub 100 million, 500 million, wherever they are, they have a lot of potential, okay? And here's my this is what I'm targeting currently here, okay? So you can see, based on what I'm targeting here, if we pick a midpoint, I think WEN could, at some point by the end of this year, or I'm going to say next year, more than likely next year, this thing could pull an 8x. This thing could pull a 9x without question. So we'll see. Something else I wanted to take a look at with you guys. Did want to take a look at the DXY, but I did say I was going to get to the comments. So let me get to the comments here. Appreciate everyone making time for me today. Very, very exciting times. Where's Bitcoin at? All right. I don't know that we're going to clear 70,000 today. We only got a couple hours, so. I don't know that we're going to clear 70,000 today, guys, but it's just a matter of time. All right, let's see what we got here. Josh, let's fucking go, my friends. Pat, welcome in. Bread Pit. So what I will say, Brad Pitt, is I've given all my thoughts on Caspa. You know what they are. It's completely possible, given the weakness, this thing truly is in distribution. There are two technical analysts out there whose opinions I very much respect, who are not crazy about this chart. They're not crazy at all about the chart, and that's okay. I've given you the price levels that I would be concerned about if we started to close below, and unless that becomes invalidated, I'm good to go. The other thing I've given you is I've given you the Solana pairing chart, I've given you the Bitcoin pairing chart, and I also spent a lot of time talking about levels in there I would be concerned about breaking down from. So that is what I'm going to stick to. I don't have anything else to add. Oh, James, great question. I love getting away from crypto for a moment to talk about vino. So, have you had any nice wines lately? Went out. Yeah, that's a great question actually. Great timing. So I went out to. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cooper's Hawk. I was out at Cooper's Hawk, a location here in Florida. One of the locations in Florida. I was in Cooper's Hawk, and I had their wine of the month in September was a pear wine. Typically, I don't like sweet wines, but pear is actually, fun fact about CBG, pear is my favorite fruit. And some sweet wines I do like. So, 95% of the time I drink dry wines, very dry wines. But I tried this pear wine and I love it. So when I get back to my place, I am planning on seeing if the Cooper's Hawk in my location in South Florida has any of those pear wines. I'm going to pick it up. Also tried a seasonal white and red, again, sweeter wine that you heat up. I don't know if you guys ever had wines that you actually heat up. They have spices in them. They're great to have in the wintertime. I've had them before. It's been a little bit. I've gone to vineyards before where they serve them. I've had them. I'll tell you what, some of those wines serve really well with a hearty chili. So I tried a couple of those. Those were good. And had their wine of the Cooper's Hawk's wine of the month for October. And I forget the name of it. It was some red blend, but it was very good. I don't know. So I've had a bunch of different good wines just this past weekend. So great timely question there, James. I don't know anything about SPS 6900. The only thing I know about it is you got some big influencers pushing it. So who knows what it'll do. I really don't know the history of it. I'm not on any exchanges or dexes to pick it up. I'm not. Again, maybe the thing pulls a 1000x from here, but I don't know anything about it. Ugos, let's fucking go. Vino, yes. CBG loves vino. DXY. Did want to take a look at DXY here. You know what's interesting about DXY? For anyone looking at this chart, if you said, oh my God, the dollar is picking up, bullish momentum here and it's bad for crypto, and I don't mean to be, let me just be direct. You don't know how to read a chart. Okay, we spent a lot of time talking about why we would bounce at this level. It's not surprising. What are we doing, guys? Just keep it. I don't know why people overcomplicate things. We got all these lower highs coming in, and we got lower lows, right? Now, could the DXY do this? Of course it could. Will it more than likely do this? Yes. And that is why I have the yellow region shown there. I gave you a theoretical topping zone. I don't know how long ago this was. 2 weeks ago? I don't know. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I gave you a theoretical topping zone for the DXY. Nothing has changed. We got right up to the area I talked about, right? I said we could get up to this 105 area. That's fine. It's still a lower high. It's just a bounce. It's a dead cat bounce. Where do I think the DXY is going to go to? This will be something. You want to have some fun? Let's have some fun, guys. All right? We're going to create a post on Twitter, okay, on X. and I am going to give my official bottoming zone for the DXY. And a lot of people will probably disagree with me. And that's okay, because I love being a contrarian. I believe the DXY, it'll be interesting to see how this ages. I'll even bookmark it. I think the DXY will bottom somewhere right here between 90, I'm going to call it 90, essentially 95. I guess 94, right? It's 94.2 and 92.5. You could get some volatility. So maybe we come all the way down to 91.7. So my bottoming range, we're going to create a little post here together. We've never done this on the live stream. What is this? 94.2, and we'll call it 91.7. So we'll... Okay, we'll come... Whoop! XY... DXY. I believe the DXY, as shown, will bottom mid 25, early 26, between 94, what did I say? 94.2? Yeah. And 91.7? 94.2. And I bet you a lot of people will disagree with this. 91.7. Okay. And I'll bookmark this. We'll come back to it. I'm not planning on stopping live streaming anytime soon, despite the fact of having an extremely small channel. Yeah, that's my there. What other charts can we go over? What other charts can we go over? I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot, to be honest with you. I really think there's too much else to kind of run through. Let me see if there's anything else that catches my eye. Nah, nothing else is really catching my eye, guys. All right. Well, look, we have a couple more days before the end of the month. I think the big day for us will be on Friday when I live stream. I'll just make it official now. I won't be live streaming Thursday, but I'll live stream Friday. I think the big day for us will be Friday because we're going to see how October closes. We're going to get a 1-month candlestick close. We're going to get a 2-month candlestick close. And we can kind of assess price action at that point. But right now, okay, if nothing materially changes in the chart, this is exactly, literally, exactly what I said I was hoping to see and thought was possible to see in the month of October. I wasn't expecting anything overly crazy in the month of October. I said once we got into November, and it's just using history. That's all it is. It's just using historical data to kind of make that inference. So we shall see. As long as things continue on the trajectory they are, though, things are looking super, super, super spicy going into 2025. All right, guys, hey, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for making time for the live stream. And until next time, let's all spread awareness. Let's carry the education forward. Take care, guys.